today we are going to look on perpendicular lines. We're going to look on perpendicular lines. So we are saying two lines are said to be perpendicular if the product of their gradient is equal to -1. So in simple terms, you are saying m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to -1. m1 is the gradient for the first line, and m2 is the gradient for the second line. When you multiply their gradient and you get -1, then it means those two lines are said to be perpendicular. So as you have seen here, perpendicular lines means if this line is going downwards, the other one is going. If this line is going downward, the other one is crossing it. So they have a point where they meet. That's what we call the perpendicular lines. Let's go to example. Example 1. Example 1. Find the equation of the perpendicular to the line x plus 2y is equal to 4 and passes through the points 2 and 1. So let's look at the solution. The equation we are given is x plus 2y is equal to 4. And we should write this equation in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So what you do, you have to take this x on the other side of the equation. So because here x is positive, when you get to the other side of the equation, it becomes negative. So it becomes 2y is equal to -x plus 4. Then you divide by 2 here, divide by 2 here, divide by 2 here. You get y is equal to -1/2 x plus 2. So here you can see the gradient is this one here. So the m1 is equal to -1/2. So we are saying in perpendicular lines, m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to -1. So we have m1 which is -1/2 multiplied by m2 should be equal to -1. So we want to remain with m2. So what you do, you multiply by the reciprocal of this one, which is 2 out of -1, multiply by 2 out of -1. So this cancel, this cancel. You remain with m2 is equal to negative, and here there's the negative, so you remain with 2. So m2 is equal to 2. So we use this gradient, and the points, we are given the points 2, 1, and we choose an ordinary point xy. If you have this, you are able to form an equation. So you will take y minus the y coordinate, which is 1, out of x minus the x coordinate, which is 2, is equal to the gradient, which is 2 out of 1. So you will get y minus 1 is equal to 2x minus 4. When you multiply 2 by x minus 2, you get 2x minus 4. Then what you do, you take -1 on the other side of the equation. So you get y is equal to 2x minus 4 plus 1. You remain with y is equal to 2x minus 3. So this becomes the equation of the line. Example 2. Point P with the coordinate 5 and -4 and Q with the coordinate -1 and 2 are points on a straight line. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of PQ, giving the answer in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So when you are told a perpendicular bisector, it means it divides that line into two halves. So what you do, you find the coordinate first of the perpendicular bisector of PQ. What you do, you take the x value of P, which is 5, plus the x value of Q, which is -1, you divide by 2. Then the y value of P, which is -4, plus the y value of Q, which is 2, you divide by 2. You get 4 out of 2, and here you get -2 out of 2. This becomes, when you divide here, you get 2. When you divide here, you get -1. So 2 and -1 are the points of the perpendicular bisector. Then with the point PQ, you can find the gradient. So if you have P 5 and -4, and you have Q -1 and 2, you can find the gradient here. Let's name this one x1 and this one y1, this x2 and this one y2. So the gradient, you'll take change in y out of change in x. This is the same as you take y2 minus y1 out of x2 minus x1. This is x2 minus x1. So when you take y2, which is 2, minus y1 which is negative 4 out of x2 which is negative 1 minus x1 which is 5. This one you get 6 out of negative 6. When you simplify, you get negative 1. By 6, 1 by 6, negative 1. So we have the value of m1 which is equal to negative 1. And we are told find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of PQ. So we have the gradient for PQ which is negative 1. So you take m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to negative 1. So you have the value of m1 which is negative 1 multiplied by m2, you get negative 1. If you want to remain with m2 here, you divide by negative 1, you divide by negative 1. So you get m2 is equal to 1. Negative 1 divided by negative 1 becomes 1. So you have the gradient of the perpendicular bisector, which is 1. You have the point, the point is 2 and negative 1. And I've said, as usual, you choose an ordinary point xy. Choose an odd point xy. So when you have this and this one, you can form the equation. So you take the value of y minus the value of y here, which is negative 1, out of x minus 2 is equal to the gradient, which is 1. You'll make it 1 out of 1. This way, you'll get y plus 1 out of x minus 2 is equal to 1 out of 1. When you cross multiply, you'll get y plus 1 is equal to x minus 2. You take this x on the other side of the equation, it becomes negative. So you get y is equal to x minus 3. So this becomes the solution. Example 3. The equation of a line is this one here. Find the gradient of the line, that is part A of the question. Then part B, equation of a line passing through the point 1, 2 and perpendicular to the given line. What it means is perpendicular to this line here. So we can start with the part A of the solution. We are told to find the gradient. So we have the equation negative 3 out of 5x plus 3y is equal to 6. For us to be able to see the gradient, we have to write that equation in the form y is equal to mx plus c. So when you look at this part of the equation, you have to it means you have to take this on the other side of that equation. So when it is negative here, so when you take this one out, it becomes positive when you cross it on the other side of that equation. So you remain with 3y is equal to 3 out of 5x plus 6. You divide by 3 here, you divide by 3 here, you divide by 3 here. You get y is equal to 3 out of 15x plus 2. You can simplify this one by 3, 1, by 3, 5. So you remain with y is equal to 1 out of 5x plus 2. So the gradient, which we will call it m1, is equal to 1 out of 5. This is the gradient. So let's go to part B. Part B. Equation of a line passing through the point 1, 2 and perpendicular to the given line. So we are saying when it is perpendicular, the product of the gradient is equal to negative 1. In other words, we mean m1 multiplied by m2 is equal to negative 1. So we have the value of m1, which is 1 out of 5. You take 1 out of 5 multiplied by m2 is equal to negative 1. If you want to remain with m2, you multiply by the reciprocal of this one. So you multiply by 5 out of 1, multiply by 5 out of 1. This one goes. You remain with m2 is equal to negative 5 out of 1. So you have the gradient. You are given the points, that is 1, 2, and you choose an ordinary point, that is xy. So what you do, when you have this, we can form the equation. Now, you take y minus the y value, which is 2, out of x minus the x value, which is 1, is equal to the gradient, which is negative 5 out of 1. So you cross multiply, you will get 1 multiplied by y minus 2 is equal to negative 5 multiplied by x minus 1. You will get y minus 2 is equal to negative 5x plus 5. You take 2 on the other side of the equation, it becomes plus 2 here. So you remain with y is equal to negative 5x plus 7. So this becomes the equation of that line.